Serafina and I were at a entrepreneurial book club where Stephanie never read the right book. And
Stephanie was terrible at this book club.
I really sucked at book club.
I did
Fabulous. What?
I just had a visual. I just had a visual.
Proud of it. I'm here. I'm alive, everyone. I have had an absolute rough sort of week. And you know what? I'm giving myself grace. I'm taking it slow. I actually ran away to South Carolina for 2 days and saw a girlfriend of mine. And I just left everything in the wake. I had to go to the doctor. I got bad results for something and I freaked out. I totally freaked out. You know, when we have those mom moments where like, we're just, oh my God, I'm doing the appointment for myself. And then when I get news, I'm like, now I have to be normal around everybody. And I just couldn't be normal around anybody. So I figured I love hanging out with Julie. She booked this day and I said, you know what? I actually would like to sit here and yap with you. So thanks for coming on the show with me.
So excited. You know, I love you and this is going to be fun.
Well, you have so much going on in your vortex. Busy working lady, busy working mom, keeping it all together and managing to forward your career. I'm very much impressed by you every time we have a conversation.
Same. You remind me a lot of myself. Always chaotic,
Right?
always nuts, but we're getting it done, Steph. That's what matters.
It is a little bit of that chaos energy. Now, maybe you can give people a little bit of a background as to who you are, what you do, what you're doing.
Yeah. So, background that could take a while. So we'll just,
I know, like bullet points, Julie, bullet points.
Yeah. First part of the career, government, second part, sales and marketing. Most recent, I've been leading the Cape Cod, not the Cape Cod Chamber. I did work there. The Mashpee Chamber for the past almost 3 years and, only plan on staying 6 months. And here we are. And we've come from here to here. It feels like 0 to 90. We have an incredible board. But my last day is Friday. Actually.
It's so wild to me that it was like, we were like on point. You really took a situation and really balanced the budget, made Mashpee look really, I'm just really so proud of what our chamber has done.
I am too.
And you're barely working out of an office. Like Julie's got a closet and she works from home and then she's dealing with like kids too. And your kids are very active.
Yes, they are very active. I do have just 2, but it feels like 29. And it's just because they play so many sports. And of course, they're all off Cape. So we are, you know, they were back at 10 from practice last night and waking up to do it all again. And they're barely alive and awake, but it's happening. So
it's happening. We're doing this. Get out the door.
Hopefully the tests go all right today. Oh, yikes.
Well, not only that, but you somehow find time to garden.
It is true. 2 times a summer I get out there and garden, but we did at the Mashpee Chamber host the Cape Cod Hydrangea Festival garden tour, which is from the Cape Cod Chamber. So fun. I literally walked 50,000 steps a day giving tours of my little garden. Listen, it's a labor of love but I do enjoy it because nobody can tell me what to do and my phone is not on me when it all happens. But
see, that's exactly what I wanted to hear because my garden looks like an old lady's gonna pop out of a bush and scare people at this point. Everything's overgrown. I was like, we quit. We tried.
Yeah. Well,
listen,
I'm going to totally say his name. This is 7 years ago. I started the whole gardening thing and Bob Maffey, he gave me his price. Bob is a good friend of mine. And I said, Bob, you've got to be out of your absolute mind. So I said, I will go to Kmart instead. And we started the process there. So it's kind of just been this evolution of $5 bushes here and there, and we're making it happen. But it's actually turned out to be beautiful.
Yeah, that's the part of the story that I really liked. So Julie just had this vision of the way her backyard should look like. was given a price that was like, absolutely no, and decided I'm going to overtime and magic it up and make it myself from
Yeah.
cuttings, clippings, propagating. Like you
So
went all
true.
in. You went
I have
all in.
no idea what I'm doing, but it's happened. And me giving these tours and they're asking me like actual garden questions, I have no idea what I'm saying.
I was absolutely
Ah,
loving how like you were lovingly looking at all of your like new saplings and you're like, look at all these babies over here.
I do. Okay, cool story for any gardener out there. So
I
Cape
do
Cod
love it.
Hydrangeas
Jeff Forte is
Festival.
on the show with us right now. So
Oh,
we have
hey Jeff,
gardeners.
he's a great follower of the Mashpee Chamber.
He's
Um,
amazing.
yeah, when it was the Cape Cod Hydrangea Festival, and my daughter and I was like, okay, well, this is gonna be like one of the 2 times I'm actually gardening because we were weeding and I didn't want to be totally embarrassed by this tour. We are weeding, and my daughter finds literally at least 35 hydrangea saplings.
Like, yes.
35. And I'm like, whoa, $5 a pop. Here we go. I'm rich. So we have a hydrangea little nursery now. We'll see if they make it till next year, but they've made it so far.
I love that.
Yeah.
That is a plant that has eluded me, and maybe I need to come and spend some time in your garden
You
because
do. We'll talk to hydrangeas. We'll talk to them.
we've I know, right? I need a hydrangea whisperer. It's apparently Julie.
Yeah.
The
No, I
little
don't know
things.
about that, but I do have them, many of them.
So you've been doing such amazing work at the Mashpee Chamber, and we're so thankful, like balancing budgets and getting out there. And like you are the sales girl with the most, but also like doing projects this year. You
Yeah.
jumped into the Mashpee Farmers Market with me and was like, how do I help? Where do I go? Put me to work.
Right.
And it was really very inspiring for me to be around people that are like, okay, we got the team.
Yeah.
Small but mighty. Let's get this going. You did some policy stuff. You did stuff in schools.
Right.
Talk about some of those big projects that you had on the agenda for this year, because it's
Yeah.
outside of the bellwether of a regular chamber position, but also not really.
Not really. Yeah. I mean, I think it was outside the Mashpee Chamber because we really hadn't done anything like that before, but that's also what we needed to do. We were lacking, right? So I think we had done a really great job at, our community events. I think definitely we've perfected them. The efficiencies are there. But if we're not actually enacting any type of policy, and it's not so much like policy in terms of rules, but it's where do these business owners really need help? And so we did do that survey, and of course, no shock, it's going to be in housing and any type of education. So why are we not really interacting with the schools and seeing how we can do better with them? Because the kids are our future. Everyone says it, but they really are, and we don't want to lose them to off Cape. So going forward, the goal is to really have that bridge between the school and the workforce so that they can come into the workforce. Not every kid is going to go to college, so they need that immediate after step, but maybe they are going to go to college and they still need that after step from college, right? So former superintendent was really, really great to work with because she recognized that also. And anything that we asked, she was all over. Same with Ruthie Provost from the Boys and Girls Club. Everybody's all over this. So we do have this committee. It is going to move forward, of course, even after I'm here. So if anybody wants to sit on this committee to see how the Mashpee Chamber can really help affect positive change, we encourage you to contact us and, get on this committee. Similarly with housing, now that's like a monster to tackle.
Yeah.
Right? The Chamber is a little local nonprofit, but we can only do so much because we actually are a 501c6. So the goal is to really kind of partner with other existing organizations to get money back to some of these employers to help their employees. Maybe it's first and last month's rent. We can put a few bucks towards that. There's so many different ideas that can help in the housing, but I think most importantly, if we can be an advocate for, projects that are in the wings, maybe existing projects, maybe projects to come. I think that's the immediate ability of the Mashpee Chamber.
I think that it's so good that we're talking about this because I think people just were like, oh, they're, a business group that promotes things. And that's not necessarily the only thing that it is that we are doing. And we were definitely digging into more stuff. Good morning, Miss Mari. I'm so sad I missed you yesterday. I couldn't get my life together. And Hank, and I guess we won't have a show until next week. you got a nice slot this week, miss. You picked a good day.
Nice.
Some other things that you had me do in the Mashpee Chamber, like I hosted it wasn't a debate, it was an open conversation with all of our local politicians.
Yes.
So that was super fun. And you're like, listen, just keep him to the time. And I feel like I did.
You so did. Keeping politicians to a time, and they'll all admit it, is like the biggest job in the world. And you did an amazing job at that. It was great. You know, what I realized as a local chamber, we're small, yet growing, but still small. So partnering with all the Upper Cape chambers, you know, other organizations like the Cape Cod Chamber, like CCYP, like other nonprofits locally, that's where, you know, we need to have some cross-pollination. People want to mingle, they want to mix. And it was great to do that with the Upper Cape Chamber, to hear from our elected officials, to see what they're doing on a local level for us. It's just a great forum to make sure that we're all interconnected, because we can't do this on our own. So the goal I feel that we've been able to achieve is, let's not stay in a silo. Let's make sure that we're partnering with other people.
Yeah, and you do a good job of that. And I think all of our other chambers that were there also. I saw Marty was there. Marty's going to be on the show on Friday.
Right.
Chrissy from Sandwich,
Yep.
and Marie Oliva, who, you know, was handed a terrible weekend for Canal Day. And then she just made it happen. It ended up being magical and wonderful.
Yes.
And with the help of people like Kara Sapulo from Cape Plymouth Business, everybody's jumping in like, how do we help? Where do we go? And it's really, really nice to see these organizations working together.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so too. I mean, all the local chambers meet on a bi-weekly basis, you know,
which I love.
Yeah. And it's just it's a great opportunity to kind of share efficiencies, share ideas, present your woes, right? But see how we can do better for our own organizations, and obviously all of the Cape too.
Yeah. What's up, Emily? Hey, Nate. Hey, Cindy. Thanks for joining us on the show. We've got outgoing Executive Director Julie Quintero-Schulz on the show. How do you feel about that?
You know, it is bittersweet. I'll be honest with you. Steph, you know, we have like the greatest board. I love every single person on it. Everybody has taught me something.
We are fun. At La Tavola, someone was doing splits. I'm not going to name names.
Yeah.
Somebody was on the dance floor throwing down.
We had the whole break dancing. I'll totally name them. John Cotton and Bob Massey. Totally putting them out there. If you need to hire dance starters, there's your guys.
They're so awesome.
It was a blast. Yeah. I think that we have had an absolute blast by getting a lot of work done, and you have fun doing work. It makes it so much easier. It really does.
For sure.
So it is bittersweet. But long time Girl Scout, you know, I've left the chamber better than I found.
Is that why we're like Kismet sisters? Because we're both Girl Scouts. We're like, we'll make anything work.
On my honor, I will try.
Anything. I know. It so is.
So moving on, but I'm still in Mashpee. And I know that my new CEO is definitely wants to be engaged and see how we can help with the business community. So whether it's me or somebody else going forward, I know
Can you talk about your new position a little bit?
Yeah, absolutely. I'll be at the Community Health Center. I'm their new chief of staff, and really excited about the opportunity to educate the community on things that they need to be educated on, awareness, really work with a dynamic group of people. The truth is, a chief of staff job is the most general thing you can think of. So I think a lot of things will be thrown at me that hasn't even been discovered yet. And I like challenges like that. So I'm excited about what's to come. But I can't tell you what all that is because I don't know yet.
Yeah. Well, you and I kind of bonded over just, dealing with some health stuff over the summer, and just like how scary it is, and how much money it is, and how we need to be doing a lot better in that realm of everything.
Yes.
As we are here tackling bigger issues. Do you feel like government set you up to be able to do these things?
Oh man, did government set me up for a lot of things. I'll tell you that. I started my career with Bloomberg in New York City, and to be totally honest, it was like, oh, Julie, can you just like coordinate the city's 60 agencies to build the 2nd Avenue subway? I was 25.
I'm right on top of that, Rose.
Yeah. I'm like, oh yeah, I can totally do it. I mean, these people that I was dealing with, commissioners of New York City and the state, I mean, these are like next level federal employees, on a high level, but it happened. And I think it was just the fact that like people championed young talent at that point kind of catapulted me forward. And since then, I've never thought that a challenge was too big for me to undertake. So I'm excited about continuing that now that I'm way older than 25.
Mentally, no.
The challenges, they seem always crazy, but it's kind of fun to tackle them and get them done. If you tell me to get something done, it's going to happen one way or the other. It might not be exactly how you asked me to get it done,
right?
It will happen, right? So yeah, challenges are fun. That stuff. The farmers market, holy moly, talk about a challenge, right?
Right. We're here. We've got 2 weeks left of the farmers market, and I'm writing grants for next year right now. And I'm working with some like really brilliant. I've got 2 fabulous PhD moms that I'm working with, like sustainable issues and doing real work for the first time in my life, actually doing meaningful, changing lives work in our town. And I'm so excited by it. I'm so energized by it.
Well, and the fact of the matter is that the Mashpee Farmers Market, yes, it's there to buy produce and to create that event space and community space, but it's creating some new economic development opportunities that Mashpee hasn't had before. There was a previous, farmers market, but this is totally different. This is engaging so many businesses. I mean, how many people have come through when we wrote the grants? Some of them, I mean, we're talking like thousands of people have come through.
Really, anywhere from 200 to 500 a week. So it's been amazing. But also I'm seeing like little changes. I had this great conversation with my husband. We've got 2 new volunteers, and I got to just shout out Junior from the Cape Landscaping. Just started showing up. And, some of these people are older. They're lonely. So they'll leave church and they'll come and they'll just sit in the grass and they just watch kids play or listen to music, and they're enjoying it. Junior's like really like started this little volunteer program. I've got another person that comes and he's like, Stephanie, I was like, can I get you a beer? And he's like, I'm trying not to drink and I'm trying to be around a nice place where I can just meet someone. And like just everyone's coming for a different reason.
Different story.
And I love it's so wonderful. It's literally what I wanted was this community space where people felt 100%. Comfortable, whatever it is.
And that was the entire goal to create that. And that's why, we've been awarded a couple of grants for this, because it is a placemaking opportunity for Mashpee that wasn't there before. And then, by the way, it's spurring more economic development in Mashpee Commons because people are there and then they're going there. And it's just a really great win-win situation. Like, totally applaud your efforts. It's been fun.
But it's not me. It's like the whole team, and we've had the residents of Mashpee come out and support it. Like they wanted this.
Right.
So we built it for you. We're meeting new people every week. People are jumping in every week. Yeah. We've got 2 regular weeks left. This week is our Fall Fest.
Yes.
And then on the 13th, we've got our breast cancer walk. So it's a 0.5K.
Love it. Because who wants to do more than that?
It's the pink 0.5K for us. And I was developing this with Kat Wilson, formerly of the radio, and now she's at Mass Hire. And we were talking about something that we could do, like someone even in treatment could do this race.
Yes.
And so we're just like, it's $20. Come walk around. It's a 0.5K. It's not a heavy lift. We've got Officer Katie Hennessy coming over with her fabulous canine, and Cara is celebrating her first birthday. So we're having a dog birthday party in the middle afterwards. It's Indigenous Peoples Day. So we're going to have a demonstration. I'm like, bring it all. This is where we're going. It's just a big last party.
But isn't it fun? Because I feel like everything you do, you just try to create this inclusive atmosphere for everybody to take a part in. So nobody's ever feeling like awkward or left out. And that's a tribute to you. It's great. I'm really
I
glad.
thank you so much for putting me in those spaces. I didn't know how to write anything, and you hunkered down. You helped us write the Mass Cultural Grant. You helped us pay for our musicians this year. So, and for next year also. So I love being able to pay a musician a livable wage. We had one of our guitarists come and he's like, I get X amount of dollars. And it was so exciting for me to be like, well, we pay $50 more than that. So here you go. And he was just like, I'll be there with bells on.
Yeah.
Yes. So they don't have to like fight for their dollars. I feel like it's so nice to see artists and musicians getting paid a livable wage, but they also were providing so much for the people around us. Lauren from Old Places, just a free place for your kids to come and get their face painted or shake ribbons or blow bubbles or play Legos in the grass.
Yeah.
She had sound bath bowls. It was just like this weird, cool place where you can get something out of your Sunday.
Yeah. And it's just so needed for every single demographic of people on Cape Cod. And we were the only farmers market, right? So it was, and it's not just a farmers market. I mean, that's what's cool about it is that's technically what it is, but it really became like a day of come be you, come enjoy, come be with people. Well, and that's the coolest part about it.
Now, this has been a very heavy lift for us this year, is bringing fresh food, because Mashpee is a food desert. You and I, we're like, it's a food desert. Why is no one helping us?
What the heck is this? Like, we had to learn so many terms. Right? We're not ignorant anymore.
No. And it's wild to me that I was not paying attention living here for 22 years as to what exactly is the problem. Why do we not have that? You drive by something and you're like, why is that not that?
Correct.
And then to just be like, well, I'm going to make that happen.
So Steph, what is a food desert? What is it? Tell everyone.
We don't have a working farm here in Mashpee, and we are also in a food justice area, which means we qualify for a lot of other helps, but no one knows where to go if you don't know that we have a problem.
Right. So now we know, and there's so many resources, and we tapped into them.
Yeah. So we need to bring that to Mashpee, and I'm really excited to see some of that trickle in to absolutely everybody's life.
Yeah.
And just make some minor changes around here for the greater good is really, really nice. And we do wonderful things. Like Julie's already got, how many people signed up for our parade?
Oh my gosh. Yeah. The parade is so happening. Like that's it. I'm glad before I leave, it's in very, very good shape. So many amazing sponsors. The Rotary is going up. Did everybody know that? I don't think a lot of people know that the Mashpee Chamber is actually who lights up and pays for the Rotary and the parade. Right. The parade, I think people know about, but the Rotary is done by the Mashpee Chamber, and it's a really big undertaking to solicit the sponsorships. And then we pay DPW to come put it up, and they do an amazing job doing that. But like, we purchase the lights, we purchase all the materials. And so I do want, people to know that we with our sponsorships, like if we don't have those, the Rotary will not be lit. And that would be so sad, because I really know that people come just to see the Rotary because it is so beautiful.
Yeah, the Mashpee Rotary is a highlight of the season.
And it's hilarious. Like, who would have thought that a Rotary would be an attraction? I mean, what the heck? But it is beautiful.
Yeah, Mashpee.
I know. Come to Mashpee. We have a Rotary. That's beautiful.
I grew up in Attleboro. We had La Salette. Now I live in Mashpee. We have the Rotary. It's all good.
Right. But we also have the only nighttime parade on the Cape, which is also beautiful. So
exactly.
We're all about lights and illuminating. So that's kind of fun. But yeah, so if anybody's interested, still contact the Mashpee Chamber. The parade is on December 14th. And it will be amazing. Winter Wonderland is the theme.
I love it. It's such an attraction. It's an exciting thing because nobody else does a parade at night. So it's another thing that sets our little town apart.
That's it.
Makes it a cool place to live, which is awesome. And yes, please sponsor the Mashpee Chamber, because we put on that little festival of lights there in the Rotary.
Illumination. We're illuminated. We have the Rotary, all it up.
It's perfect. So what's going on in the news yesterday? I don't know if anybody watched the debate. That was the first text message I got from my daughter. We're going to parents weekend this weekend at college. And she's like, "Are you watching this debate?" I'm like, "I just got home from work. Can you not?"
I know.
But it's nice to see her engaged. We've never had that conversation ever.
Right.
She's
Right.
never been interested. She's a new voter this year. And I've got all the paperwork for her to jump into this crazy thing that we've got going on in the world. Jimmy
Right.
Carter celebrating his 100th birthday, which is like, I can't believe that man is still alive.
I mean, God bless him, right?
Right?
I'm from Georgia, so I mean, I love Jimmy Carter. What a great values. He's got some values.
Yep. Well, every time I hear you say y'all, I was like, I gotta ask her where she's from because I forget.
I am from the state of peanuts.
I love it. It's perfect. I was
Yeah.
just in Charleston over the weekend. My girlfriend is like Charleston, like went to Cotillion, went to Ashley Hall where Barbara Bush graduated, like very deeply Southern.
One of my best friends and sorority sisters, I have been there for her cotillion.
Oh, perfect. So you know.
Sometimes we practice here's the my hand on the male's hand walking through in a white dress. We had to pretend it all.
But I just didn't even remember that they just had a hurricane. So I'm like,
Yeah.
Are you okay? You're still getting me at the airport selfishly?
I know.
She's
Well,
like,
and that's what you were saying. So it didn't totally affect, because Charleston, when it floods, that is bad news.
yeah, no, for whatever reason, they were fine. That Asheville area was the one that got walloped. And yeah.
One of my friends, my best friends, her sister was caught in Asheville, actually had to get helicoptered out with her little family.
Well, thank God she got helicoptered out because I was just looking at the lines of people just trying to get gasoline in the one grocery store that's still open. And yeah, it's scary.
Obviously, they couldn't even move their car, and several people, because they were more further up in the mountains. So I need to get the full story, but yikes. Yeah, it was so bad. Ugh.
Yeah, check on your Southern people. It's not looking good. I had a conversation last night with one of my trivia guys, and he's like, "Oh, the Florida house. I heard my front yard's just covered in sand. I don't even know what's left of it."
Right.
I was like, "Well, I guess you're staying in Dennis, buddy."
Seriously.
Not everybody has that escape valve, so be thankful.
Stay in Dennis with us year round. We like year rounders here.
Right? True.
Come be one of us.
Yeah. How did you land on the Cape, by the way?
Yeah. That was a big transition, just saying.
Right?
So from Georgia, I lived in New York City for 5 years. And during that point, I met my sister-in-law who said, "Want to come to Cape Cod?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure." So through her, I met my husband, Michael. And when I first met him, he was in a suit and he was in his mother's kitchen, and he had his shoes, like his legs and feet, up on the kitchen counter or kitchen table. And I was like, so rude. What are you doing?
You're like, I can fix him.
Yeah. So I did not date him right away because of the shoes. No. But yeah, that's how that happened.
Well, that's how it happens. I meant my husband had long hair and he was wearing like a Slayer t-shirt in a bar. I'm like, oh, and I think back to like, wow, that's the man I'm going to marry. So she was on a kitchen table. Also, same vibe. Ew.
Yep. You know what? But it was funny because I was 27, he was 30. And in Georgia at 27,
you're like an old maid.
100%. And I remember feeling like, oh my gosh, if I don't get married now, what is ever going to happen?
Isn't that awful?
Yeah. But you have to understand, I was in a wedding in Georgia the day after we graduated from college. That was my first one. And then, by the way, I was in 14 additional weddings. 14. Total of 15 weddings I've been in. And that was all before I got married.
Yeah, 20, like 25, 26. My girlfriend Julia right now, who is over at the Enterprise and also works at Knockabout, she had like 17 weddings this week, this summer. I'm like, another wedding? What's happening? But it's that age bracket.
But I mean, I'm talking, I have 15 dresses, Steph. We should have talked about this because I could have modeled them on here. Can't fit into them anymore, but I have them. They're in my basement. It's just the color of green that I have down there, it's not pretty. Sorry for whoever's wedding it was. I don't even remember whose wedding it was, but I have the dress.
Just in case, because they're like, you can wear this again. We will never wear this again.
Yeah.
Ever. Good morning, Corrine. Thanks for joining us. Another board member, Kelly, Virginia. Thank you so much. I've got Julie Quintero-Schulz, outgoing Executive Chamber Director here at the Mashpee Chamber of Commerce. What do you want people to know about your job here? Your outwards.
I just want people to know the good work that the Mashpee Chamber has done and will continue to do. I think we've positioned it to carry it forward. And what I mean by it is some of the policy work that we were mentioning, housing, education, and there's definitely more. The goal is to start a 501c3 as an arm of the Mashpee Chamber to be able to do that work. And I also want people to know that the overall goal has been just community collaboration. There's so many differences in this world, but when we focus on the similarities, it's just so cool to see what can be done. I mean, Steph, you and I are so similar, yet we're so opposite in so many ways. But the way that we've been able to collaborate, even if it's, for the farmers market alone, it's been really cool to see how varying personalities can get work done. And I think that with all of the events that we've put on, there's so many differences, but we're able to find that common denominator of commonality. And it's been really cool to see just the positive vibes that we've been able to create. And I
really love our board.
Yeah. And I just think that when you're focusing on the positive rather than the negative, you can just get so much more done. And
Stephanie
people
says
really, what do you say?
It's Stephanie Salata. I'm down for 27 dresses, Cape Cod edition. We want the dresses, Julie.
I really should. You know what? I might actually pretend to I'll send you some of them. Some of our, woo!
Maybe we can work that in. We're working on our Shop Local campaign. You started that last year. Ashley, Irene was, really great with that. It was Love Local. We had a really nice collaboration. Corrine, you didn't miss one of them. We all showed up at all of these supporting our local businesses here in Mashpee.
And I know it's going to grow. Prizes. She kept winning the prizes.
I never win anything. Damn it, Corrine.
Corrine does. She wins. She's a winner.
Seriously, good morning, Laura. Thanks for joining us. And I'm really excited for this year. So I know you've already done a lot of work. It's like when normal people leave a job, they're like slowly cleaning out their desk. No, Julie's like, let me tackle all of this before I go so that you're left in good hands.
Yeah,
which is really
sure.
nice.
I'll write your recommendation. Listen, Shop Local is going to be super fun. I'm glad you brought it up. It is going to be our existing member retailers have the opportunity to put forth like a deal of some sort. So like Ashley Irene is going to do 10% off from November 1st to December 31st. And she's going to provide that for anybody who comes in the store and shops. And then she's going to know how many people came in that way. So that's her own KPI, internal KPI, right? But it could be where some other store says, buy this shirt, get $1 off. I don't know what everybody can
whatever
have
you want it to be, whatever your deal is for your business.
Exactly. But it will be a passport system where all of our member retailers will be listed. If they want to put a deal in, that's fine. If they don't, we'll put their logo in and they can do whatever they want, right? But the goal is to get people shopping in the store locally. And really just help them at a critical time of their year, because year end is closing. They want to make sure they're finishing strong, and we want to make sure they're finishing strong too. So that's the overall goal. And then it's funny, we actually have a survey out right now. I'm really impressed by the number of people who have filled out our 1-question survey. And
I love the 1-question survey. I was like, what is this? Oh, it's only one question. Yes, please.
It's only one question, so we can do it. But it's what would get you shopping more in the local stores. It doesn't actually matter if it's big box or a physical, like small mom and pop store. Just what is getting you to
leave your home
on the ground and go in?
Yeah.
Some of the responses are really, really interesting. So I'm excited to share it with our retailers to see if they can make any changes before the end of the year, or maybe to, enact them for next year. But all of this is to help them. And we actually put in real money to market. So we'll be on the radio, we'll be, doing social posts, we'll do some digital ads. The Mashpee Chamber is obviously paying that money to fulfill that, because every member is important. And then also, what we've done is we're going to have a restaurant month. I'm saying like I'm going to be here. I'm not, but we've already put it into action. So next March will be the first restaurant month. This is all created by the member restaurants. So there is a committee, if you're interested in it, get in touch. The next meeting is actually October 22nd. But it's an opportunity, again, to help the restaurants out in a time where you're not having as much foot traffic. Obviously, people do leave for the colder months, but it will be great. Everybody will have the opportunity to create their own deal for the restaurants and get people in. So it's just a lot of fun stuff happening right now. And I'm excited to know that it is continuing. It's not like Julie leaves and it all goes. No, that's not what's happening. All this stuff is happening.
But you're also staying in Mashpee. So I'm not mad about that either. And you're going to be a business that is part of this community doing stuff within it still. So it's not like you're gone, which is nice.
Correct. I don't live in Mashpee, but I do love it. And I am ironically excited, that this new position is in Mashpee. Because
we were voted third best town by USA Today, okay?
I mean, come on. That's like serious.
I feel like it's a big deal.
It's totally a big deal. It's just a cool town. There's so many little things that make it what it is.
Yeah. And I still think it's growing so much. When you look at a lot of towns on the Cape, I feel like a lot of them are sedentary. We did it. We're the oldest, or we've been doing this for 300 years. Hold my beer. It's very different. And Mashpee is like in this growth space. And I think it's still doing cool stuff.
Right. It's like kind of come do business here. It's an easy town to make things happen in.
Yeah. It's awesome. Lauren, Cliff, I cannot wait to start seeing you. We're going to be over at House of Hatchets in Hyannis on Fridays. And it's an early karaoke at 6 to 8. I mean, no, it's actually 8 to 10. And Curtis is going to be there hosting it. Starts October 18th. I've got my witchy woo on because, now we're October. So everybody's going to be celebrating all kinds of fall fests and pumpkins and scary things. And my son, can we decorate for Halloween? I'm like, do we have to?
Yes, Steph, because you need one more thing to add into your life.
I said, my garden already looks like Halloween and I didn't do anything with it. It's just a disaster.
Devin, I can put the pumpkins out around my house and all the old little crafts that my kids have made that look god awful. You can do it too.
You're right. Oh, Mari said I would be interested on the board for the restaurants. Yeah, she runs really local page that's Cape Cod Dining at Home and anywhere else. I think that would be a nice addition.
You should 100% come.
Yeah, she said she just tried the new Saga. Do you know how we have a new hibachi in town? It's been threatening to come to our town for like 3 years, and it's finally here, and everyone says it's really good.
Here. How exciting is it though? I mean, where's the closest one is in Hyannis, right?
Yeah. I think Falmouth. I think there's one in Falmouth, but it's not like, I don't know if they do it or that much.
Okay.
I think they've only got like 2 tables at that one.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and then we end up going to Harwich, which is like, that's super far. So it's exciting.
Oh yeah. Noble House. Exactly. Or it's off Cape. Those are our choices.
Right.
Not anymore, everyone.
No, it's here. Nice and local.
I know. I'm also struggling to get fall decor up. Jen Christian said, and Cindy said we waited 50 minutes. Well, it's a brand new restaurant. Pack your patience. It's new.
Yes. 50 minutes. I mean, you got to wait for the show. When you get there, come on, the whole sake experience, a little thing that pees on your kids, and it's.
No matter how many times I've seen that show, it doesn't matter. It doesn't get old to me. And I'm like a little kid. Yay.
Yay. I'm like, wait, can I do this? I think I could do this.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. You can't wait to hear me sing. God help you, Cliff. No, it's not. What's up, Dan? We are full Halloween season over here in Mashpee, and we're just talking to Julie Quintero-Schulz about literally everything, but it also works into what the chamber does. It's a little bit of all of the things. And I feel like we've talked about absolutely everything that's coming up and going on. Shop local is another big one that's coming up for us. It's a big deal. And we were just chatting about restaurant month, not week. We're doing it big here in Mashpee. It's a full month.
Listen, it makes total sense though. I think it was it Dino from Dino's? It could have been Mark from Polar Cave, or it could have been Jan from Cape Cod Coffee. But one of them said, oh, you can't go to every restaurant in a week. So why not make it a month and people can actually try to go to as many restaurants? I said, wow, that's genius. So again, collaboration. I didn't think of that, but it makes 100%. There's no way I would go to all the restaurants in Mashpee in a week, not even 2 weeks. So you need at least the 4. And then what's cool about it too, is we are partnering with Cisco, and they're going to put some workshops on for the restaurants. Maybe it's to figure out what menu placement, for marketing, whatever, stuff like that. And like all these restaurant-y things that like I have no idea about, but
that's good. I mean, if they're not attracting the customers that they want to, or were once, or whatever, for whatever reason, it's just not happening right now and you're not connecting, why the hell not? You need to find that out.
So it's restaurant education. And again, it's just, what can we do to create value for our members? And that's been our mantra for the entire season of me being here. And I know that that's going to continue to happen. So that's super fun. We do have our economic development committee meeting today. So it's going to be what we did, and then, what's going to happen going forward. And this is kind of created by so many amazing people who are on this committee. So definitely a lot of news to come from this committee going forward, like what will happen in the upcoming year. So that will be hopefully developed today. For 2025.
And I urge you to get out there and get involved in whatever your local chamber is. If you're a business owner, and if you're not, maybe you want to be on a committee that's doing something cool in your town, just cause I feel like it's important to talk about being involved, because that's the only way we're going to make some changes. And I know we all watch a debate and we complain, but you know what? These are the things that you can actually do and make small movements in your own town. So,
and you know what was so cool? And maybe it's a compliment, but the picnic box, they have like the best location in Mashpee, right? Like how many people pass them? Everybody knows about them. Everyone's been there. And so she actually contacted us half a year ago, and she said, I've never seen the value of the Mashpee Chamber before, but I'm watching you guys and I actually feel like really left out. So she was like, I don't need like your marketing services. I don't need this or that. She goes, but I want to be involved because I'm actually kind of jealous that I don't know enough about what's going on. And that was like the biggest compliment, because we are out there and we are doing things, and it's taken a lot of effort to get to where we are. There's still so much room to grow. We are so not perfect, but that's a huge testament to what we've been trying to do. And so now they're a member. They've been a member now for a while. She's on the Restaurant Week committee. And that's the value that she's seen. And, how can we help her business, but also how she can help us, because she has a lot of institutional knowledge of Mashpee and what has happened throughout the years.
Yeah, right. And she has been there through thick and thin.
Totally.
Right there at that Rotary feeding people.
Right there.
For sure. And so watched all the change.
There's definitely a place for everyone, with their small business.
And I just loved, and you shouted out some of the most amazing business owners that are in town. Dino, who I had no food trucks one Sunday, and I was like, pizzas now, and I need the bags too. And he's like, here, go. Done. Or Mark, who is in charge of the Mashpee Rec Fall Fest that is happening this Saturday, and there might be rain, and he's like literally walking the field and marking out vendor spots and making sure things are done. Like, these people dig in and they show up where they need to. And when I'm like, hey, I need ice cream for X, Y, and Z, and he's like, yep, I'll be there. And they never say no, they just show up, and that's what it's about.
Yeah, and it's so true. I mean, Mark for La Tavola provides the ice cream. Dino, like, has been running La Tavola for like 50,000 years,
Mhm.
although he's still really young. And
Doesn't age.
Jan, they give us coffee. I mean, there's Batello's, Bosun. I mean, all these businesses give so much to the town in so many different ways. And for anybody who has sponsored, like, I really, truly do appreciate you. I'm still writing all my thank you notes. I'm going to be writing them until Friday.
I love that you're writing them, though.
Yeah,
Like, that's cute. It's important.
It's so important. And I do appreciate every single organization that is given of their time and money too.
Thanks, Dan. He's like, how awesome are you guys? I love this. We
This
miss
is
you.
Good news testimonial.
Exactly. We're not tooting our horn, but I'm celebrating Julie on our way out, and I'm thankful to have gotten to work with you for the little bits of time that we have been able to throw some cool things together, and just because we magicked them up. So it was really neat to be a part of that.
Chaos committee.
Love it. It gets stuff done. And Lauren says that's the thing. If people spent as much time committed to helping their communities as opposed to arguing online about things they cannot change, our communities would be rich with support. Well said, lady.
True. So true. And you know what? Really, I have tried to be strategic about who has come onto the board or who we presented the opportunity, because you have to find those people who actually can see the good in things. And unfortunately, there's definitely a lot of people who only will see the negative. And I would encourage people to find something positive in everything, because there's always something positive in every single person, every single situation, and build on that. Because otherwise, I mean, do you want to be negative in life? It's not fun.
And Lauren also commended you. She said, I've been trying to write thank you cards for 4 years now. So I'm glad you're getting yours out.
Yeah, I have to. I'm like, crap, I literally have I feel like 1,000 to write, but I am determined to get them done by Friday. I have to get them done, or they won't give me any more stamps.
Cindy, that's me, negative Nancy. You're not. You're funny about the way you're negative. I appreciate it.
You can be a negative Nancy, but then take it into a different area.
Exactly. Turn it around, my friend.
Yeah,
that's it.
I believe in you, Nancy.
So what have you got next, Julie? You're moving on to your new space. Is it going to be a change for your family life? Is it going to change anything?
Slight changes here and there. Obviously, the physical job is totally different, but major similarities as well. Healthcare versus chamber type work. But don't worry, I'm not administering any flu shots. I'm not doing any.
Honey, I'm going to be a doctor now. She's married to a lawyer.
Not doing the COVID test for sure. I'm jamming up people's notes. Could you imagine?
Nurse Ratchet.
Yeah, no, we don't want Julie doing any of that kind of stuff. The crazy part is my sister's a neurosurgeon. So smart. My dad is a periodontist. My brother's a periodontist. My mom's a microbiologist. And they're like, what do you do, Julie?
Well,
cool. Yeah. So
she's getting as close to healthcare as she wants to.
Yeah, exactly. Without doing any of the bodily fluids that y'all have to deal with all the time.
Too funny. What's up, Dawn? Thanks for joining us on the West Coast. I'm talking to Julie Quintero-Schulz, outgoing executive director of the Mashpee Chamber, about her new space and what we're expecting for the future. I really thank you for your time today. And we're going to wrap things up here on the 1180. And if you want to get involved in your local chamber, if you want to get involved in your local town, please do so. There are so many wonderful people, especially here on the Cape and beyond. I don't know how it works in your town, but maybe you should find out.
Yeah, I agree. Be a joiner. It's just more fun.
Yeah, well, I'm just sick of people sitting back and complaining. Kevin Miles, I have not talked to you since high school. Thank you for joining us on the show as we're about to end it. Thank you, everybody out there, for your support. I promise I'll be more communicative this week as I'm getting my life back in order from everything that's going on personally. And thank you so much for checking in. Well, that's about it. Eventsoncape.com. If you're looking for something to do, we've got like 12 to 15 different trivias, music bingos, always looking for a host. I lost one of our college hosts yesterday because he is going off to university in the middle of the country. Whatever, go better your life situations. So that means we're open for a host, and we've got some really fabulous single moms, older retirees. We've got former teachers, just wonderful people that are involved in our community space. And if you're looking to just fulfill a couple of hours, talk to some people in real life, and make a couple of extra bucks, it's really the easiest part-time job you'll ever have. So get a hold of us.
You should post your job on MashpeeChamber.com.
Well, thank you for that, Julie. I think I will right now. Have a great day, everybody. Julie, you want to say any your goodbye parting words?
Thanks for this opportunity, Mashpee. But it's not till later. We're always going to be here. I'm going to be here.
Julie, thank you so much. We'll talk to you soon, everybody. Hank's up next with lunch break. Keep listening on lemonadio.com.